You know what it is. We're still in the middle of a big-time series of Powerhouse, and Evan Nelson's on today. You're not going to miss what he has to say. But before I get to Evan Nelson, go listen to what I have to say about Team USA, and oh boy, I have some stuff to say about that, and boy, am I excited. Following the interview with Evan Nelson, I give you guys a coaching update in regards to Minnesota, Houston, and Milwaukee. Go check that out. Draft update. Draft is coming near. I've got all kinds of things to say, and ooh, I got some stuff to say about that. You're not going to miss that. Oh, and the Finals NBA review. There's some stuff I got to say, and I don't want to get too far into it because it's big time. So the only way to find out is go check it out. And of course, SchuZ Zone, the fan favorite. I want to talk about things that happen, and there's two great examples from the past weekend and week that I truly saw that truly show exactly what SchuZ Zone's all about, and I don't want you to miss it. So stay tuned. Go check out the full episode. Episode 18 is on the way. What's going on, everyone? I hope that everyone has had a very blessed weekend and is ready for a start of another great week. Also, I hope you're ready for another great episode. I'm your host, Zach Schumaker, and I'm at my home in Gilbert, Arizona. And I've got some things to hit up. This week, Salpointe Star continues this great Powerhouse series as he hits up all kinds of stuff that you're not going to want to miss. But before we get into that, I've got some special things I need to talk about regarding Team USA and what's coming up in the upcoming weeks. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first topic we're going to get into today is Team USA. So we're starting to put together the rosters right now. Not necessarily anything meaningful necessarily, just we know some of the players that are there. As of right now, I do believe we now have the 18-man people. There's also going to be 10 select players, which are also going to be guys that are kind of for development. The guys that are going to be up-and-coming players, as Colangelo labeled it as. So that being said, there's going to be about 28 players going over to Las Vegas for the training camp. Now this is going to take place in a little bit. They're going to take the top 12 to the FIBA qualifiers. The qualifiers is just where they have to qualify. Team USA doesn't necessarily have to win anything. They just need to qualify to be able to make the Olympics the next year, which is awesome. I mean, I love this thing. I love the FIBA qualifiers. It's a great thing to have in the offseason, and I absolutely love the Olympics when they play. It's a blast. And so, yes, you're not going to see LeBron James playing this because he doesn't have to, and he's going to spend family time. He's going to keep rehabbing. Golden State Warriors or Toronto players have not been invited yet because they're still playing, and I would be shocked if they do play because, once again, we don't necessarily need it. It's just a matter of fact, can we qualify and get into the tournament for the Olympics? But where is he going to win anyways? That being said, also, got to remember, Coach K is no longer the head coach of this. Has now been moved over to Coach Pop. So it's going to be a great new kind of shifting to the new era of Team USA basketball. So right now, here's the guys you guys got going for you in terms of the 18-man rosters. You got Anthony Davis, James Harden, Kemba Walker, Donovan Mitchell, Bradley Beal, Eric Gordon, Kyle Kuzma, Damian Lillard, Brook Lopez, Kevin Love, CJ McCollum, Jason Tatum, Paul Millsap, PJ Tucker, Chris Middleton, LaMarcus Aldridge, Andre Drummond, and Harrison Barnes. Now, I do believe, I haven't heard officially yet if Tatum and or Kuzma or Donovan Mitchell are even considered some of the 10-man select up-and-coming guys. But what I have heard right now is that Anthony Davis is a lock, Harden's a lock, Kemba's a lock, Donovan Mitchell's a lock, and Bradley Beal and Damian Lillard are a lock. As of right now, that's what I'm hearing. You can kind of pick out your 12 guys. But out of the guys that are for the up-and-coming roster so far is Zion Williamson, Marvin Bagley, and John Collins. That being said, my take, I think the roster is going to somewhat look like, of course, you're going to have Harden, Kemba, Mitchell, Davis, Bradley Beal. That 8 goes up about 5. Then you obviously have Damian Lillard. That's 6. You're going to have, I'd say CJ McCollum will be in there for sure. I'd say Chris Middleton, LaMarcus Aldridge, Andre Drummond. That's 10 guys for sure. The other 2 that are going to come down to kind of an up-in-the-air thing. I wouldn't be shocked to see someone like Zion make it because of the excitement, his athleticism will go out and just dominate. Depends on what stage Kevin Love is in terms of health. They said they also want veterans like Millsap and Tucker, but we'll see the meaning of that. They don't really have too many young guys anyways. I mean, it really depends on the last couple spots. I think there might be a couple other guys listed. We'll have to see. But as for right now, I'd have to say it's probably will end up being Zion Williamson and I'd say Kevin Love, depending on what happens, of course. We'll have to see, though. I mean, when you look at the whole scope of things, hopefully for the Olympics coming next year, we'll see. But the Olympics, I'm thinking if you're going to take your 12 or 13-man roster, of course, you're going to have LeBron, you're going to have KD, you're going to have Kawhi, you're going to have Steph, you're going to have Paul George, you're going to have Russ. I mean, there's going to be a lot of guys you're going to add in. So, it's like I said, this is not necessarily setting up for that. It's just something we can see a lot of guys' exposure. It's going to be truly great to see what they put out with Team USA. I'm truly just excited to see what happens. But stay tuned because it's going to be in Vegas. We're going to do something in California. It's going to be a blast. This summer is one of the great summers, along with next year, when we get to watch guys, teams like the Olympics and the FIBA qualifiers. Absolutely phenomenal and a blast to watch. Coming up next, special guest of the week, Evan Nelson, comes on in the show and you're not going to miss it. He's a star at Salpointe Catholic. He's a star at Powerhouse SchuZ. He's one of the top guards in the Southwest, and actually in the country in his class. You're not going to miss what he has to say about playing with Majok, playing with Powerhouse, playing with all kinds of levels, NBA offseason, and so much more. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it. I'm blessed to welcome a member of the All-Arizona team and Powerhouse at Salpointe star Evan Nelson to the 4th episode of the Powerhouse series. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad. So let's get into this then. So playing for Powerhouse, why did you choose to play for them?
Powerhouse, man. I know those guys since probably like 7th grade. A friend Veen took us out there to go try out, and Coach Ortega, my father, and Coach Becker, we created a pretty good relationship, and he basically said that he'd have the platform and the resources and the connections to get me to the next level, obviously to college, and he's pretty much held up that end of his deal so far. So
that's awesome. So what would you say would be some of your favorite memories or the best parts about playing for Powerhouse?
Probably all the relationships and friends I've been able to make with coaches, past players, dudes on my squad right now, and getting the opportunity to travel all over pretty much the country in the U.S. and Canada. We had a Canada trip, so traveling is pretty cool too.
That's awesome. So now obviously playing for Salpointe, what made you decide to go there?
Man, freshman year, I attended Mountain View, and we were decent. We made playoffs and had a few good guys. Won like the region for the first time in history. But I think I chose Salpointe because academically I'd get pushed. We got a 99% rate of people who go to college.
That's
and
awesome.
Then just basketball, the platform I feel like is obviously better. In Tucson, it's not as big as Phoenix, so there's not that many good schools, and Salpointe's always been good. So
that's awesome. So were there other schools you're considering once you decided to transfer?
Nah, man, it was pretty much Salpointe or nothing.
Gotcha. So obviously playing with Majok, what was it like playing alongside him?
Man, a lot of fun. Me and him have been playing together since probably like 6th grade, I have to say. So we have a lot of good chemistry. It's like second to none, I'd say. He's a fun guy, obviously a lot of energy, pushes you to be better. And being friends with him off the court, too, is a plus as well.
That's awesome. Do you say there's a certain memory that you're never going to forget about playing alongside him or being around him?
Man, my favorite memory for him is with him. I mean, I'd say is like he's probably like in 7th grade. I was in 6th grade. We were super young, playing at halftime down at U of A, and dude dunked it, and the crowd just went crazy. And I thought that was pretty crazy. He made the newspaper, so that was pretty sick.
That's awesome. So obviously now playing at Salpointe, you guys were eliminated back-to-back years by a Powerhouse team in Shadow. What was it like, or what was the feeling and the stuff you've learned from playing against them?
Man, those losses are heartbreaking, but they're just learning experiences. In conclusion, I mean, sure, obviously being up the first year, having that element of surprise I think we had, getting up on them by 20. They weren't really expecting us, but them coming back, you know, when you had them, it's just a learning experience of what you could try to do next time, and just you just got to cherish the moment that you're in.
No doubt. I mean, obviously everyone knows in Arizona and across the country that Shadow is one of the best teams. If not, they were the best team in Arizona for 4 more years. So, I mean, obviously being able to go against them and say that's who you guys lost to, and you guys actually battled against them is a big time accomplishment.
Yeah, just knowing you can compete against those guys and you're up there with the top, man, is just an own accomplishment in itself.
So your final season now at Salpointe, what would you say would be your goal as a player?
Player, man, I don't really have any individual goals, but obviously I really want to win a ring, and that's more of a team accomplishment, but that's really what I'm trying to get to. So.
That's awesome. So who do you say was going to be the biggest competition this upcoming year?
Man, for 4A, man, I couldn't even tell you who is up in Phoenix, but I know down here in Tucson we'll have Catalina Foothills be pretty solid, and I'm sure who they got. Buckeye will be all right with Tay. I'm sure Deer Valley will be decent.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, I don't even know who else they got, but it should be good.
For sure.
Shadow whoever they return. I don't know what they got going on, but
True. I mean, I know they lost Tez for sure. Of course, the seniors graduated, but I'm not sure about Shamar yet. But I mean, they definitely lost a lot of firepower.
yeah.
You are the number one option this year, especially with Majok being gone. Who else would you say is going to be the other guys surrounding you as your top players?
Man, we got a guy, Grant Whiteman, Jake Seo, Braden Miller, Jordan Gainey. That's our solid core 5 seniors coming in. And then we'll have some pretty nice dudes come up from JV and some returners from varsity, 2 other guys. So we'll be pretty solid.
That's good. So then, obviously, being one of the top players in the state for a couple of years now, I'm sure a lot of prep schools have reached out to you, like Hillcrest, Compass, some of them. Have you ever considered playing for them?
Nah, man, I haven't really considered it, but it would be nice to go against those top guys.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's something I know. Talking to a bunch of guys, I mean, it's really split. I mean, some guys it truly does benefit them because they get against the national attention nonstop.
Yeah.
But also if you're at your level and you, DaRon, Osa, some of you guys, they still thrive at the AIA level, and you guys can still get tons of offers. Which there's nothing wrong with that. It's obviously a great experience having the high school life still.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yep, that's most important to me, man. I like going to the high school games and just enjoying like being a kid, man. So
No doubt. So being named to All-Arizona team with the guys like Nico, Jovan, Jaelen, DaRon, Trent Brown, what were your thoughts on being named to that group?
Man, it's a great accomplishment, I'd say. Back-to-back years with Timmy and pretty much the same group of guys last year. Coming up from Tucson, being the top guy from Tucson, I'd say it's an honor to know that I'm in the same boat as those guys. Those guys are obviously going to go to the next level this year and really make an impact. Nico and Jaelen and Jovan, those guys, Majok as well, and DaRon coming up behind. So just being in that company lets you know you're doing something right.
Absolutely. So what would you say if there was one college you've always dreamed of since you've been a kid? What would you say that college would be?
Man, I usually say I don't really have a dream college, but I would have to say just the U of A, Arizona. Growing up there, watching the guys from Derek Williams to Alonzo Trier and DeAndre this past 2 years ago. Just playing in McHale, staying home, being a hometown guy. It was just something that I always thought would be pretty cool.
Absolutely. So is there one guy you kind of like, I mean, you talked about Majok and some guys that you've really been good teammates with, but has there been one guy that you'd really want to team up with that you've talked about teaming up with in college?
Probably my guy Oso right now, but he's big time, so
no doubt.
Oso would be pretty smooth.
And
Juke too. Back with Juke, that'd be cool.
So who would you say has helped you out the most during your recruiting process so far?
Man, Coach Ortega has helped me a tremendous amount, obviously setting me up to play in front of these coaches and getting these coaches my number and stuff like that. But other than that, I have to say my dad and my mom and my high school coach Reynolds a little bit. So, yeah.
So if there's one thing you could pick that you really like to improve on for your final year, what would you say that would be?
Man, trying to get my body right, get more explosive, get ready for the next level. Sharpen up everything else, get my shot more consistent, I think, and just making good reads and basketball plays, stuff like that. Be able to be ready just to transition right into college.
Awesome. So is there one player you kind of model your game around? It's been a high school, college, pro player?
I really like Damian Lillard right now in the NBA, and college coming up, it was a little bit of Trae Young, so I have to say those guys. Trae Young got a strap, but I'm trying to get there. So,
no doubt. So, is there one who you say would be the best player you played with?
In some camps, man, I've had some pretty good teammates on my team. Brian Antone, he's pretty decent. Villanova this year. Shoot, I'll probably just say that guy, Brian, in the All-Star game. So.
So who would you say would be the best player you've ever played against?
Man, personally, I would have to say my guy, Nico, man. He was still killing back when we played him. My freshman year, we used to battle 8th grade year. So he was already killing Nico. But I played against RJ before he really blew up. R.J. Hampton, he was solid.
No doubt.
Those two guys.
That's awesome. So is there one dream coach you've always would like to be coached by? Has it been an NBA coach, a college, a high school, or someone?
Man, I like my guy Popovich, I think. Pop is he's a real blunt coach. I think he keeps it 100. So I think being coached by him would be pretty cool.
Absolutely. So who would you say would be some of your biggest role models in your life? I mean, it could be on or off the court.
Man, definitely my dad. All the stuff he does for me, guides me, tells me, gives me advice on a lot of things. And just older guys that I've been around too, like Jackson Rye, obviously my old powerhouse teammates. Juke has been a dude that I could look up to as well. So I say a lot of the coaches and father figures in my life that have helped me along the way I look up to.
That's awesome. Who's some of the most underrated players in the state?
I like my guy Justice for my younger team, but I have to say my Tucson guy DeMarco on Powerhouse 16. He's pretty solid. DeMarco, dude from Tucson. JT as well. I like to rep the Tucson guys. My dude Dre Henry, man. Super underrated. Tay as well.
Absolutely.
But I had to say Dre probably most underrated.
I mean, I talked to him, I think it was last 2 episodes ago. I mean, he obviously came over from football, so he hasn't been playing too long. But, I mean, he's got all the potential to be a monster. I mean, just as he keeps getting more and more experience playing basketball at a high level.
Yeah, man, he's going to be good. He's going to be all right.
So who would you say would be your favorite NBA team?
Man, I like the Lakers right now, but we are a mess. So hopefully we can get it back right.
What would you say if you're, as a fan, who would you say you want to have, what do you want to have happen to the Lakers?
Shoot. Hopefully we can bring in a big free agent this signing period, this free agency. Bring in Clay. We'll take Clay. We'll take anybody, honestly. But we need to just get right, get back to the playoffs. So hopefully Bron take us there.
Yep. So who would you say would be your favorite NBA player?
Probably right now Dame. Super underrated.
No
works
doubt.
hard. But Kawhi, man, I like Kawhi too. He doesn't say anything, just comes in, does his job day in and day out, and just leaves it all on the court. Lets his game speak for it himself.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's big time. I mean, there's nothing wrong with guys that go out and go at you like Draymond and all. I mean, that's completely fine. But, I mean, guys like Kawhi and Damian, I mean, a good example of watching was when Damian and Westbrook play against each other. I mean, they're both probably the second, third, fourth best point guards in the NBA, but they both play in a whole different kind of element, a different kind of game.
Yeah.
So if there's one NBA player you could team up with or would like to team up with, who would you want to team up with?
Probably KD. Dude is just a bucket. Plays like 6'10", so obviously he plays defense. He's long. So probably KD. Arguably best player right now. So, well, he hasn't been playing, but.
No doubt. So, who do you think's going to win the NBA Finals?
Man, I don't want to say the Warriors might come back, but I hope the Raps can close it out, man, and stop the three-peat or whatever. So,
I mean, I think
the Raps.
Yeah, I mean, I think depends on what KD does. If he comes back, it's going to be tough to beat them, but I think it all goes around him.
Yeah, makes for a great story, huh?
Oh yeah. So out of the free agency, it's a big-time free agency coming up. Let's talk about some of the big-time players. Where do you think Kevin Durant will sign?
Man, I think he's going to go back east, so I don't know who he might go to next. It would be cool if he stayed in the West, but I probably think he's going to go back east.
Yeah, I think it's going to be between either Knicks and Nets.
Yeah, Nets will be smooth.
Especially if they get Kyrie and all too.
Yeah, that would be nice. Them and D'Lo too.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. So adding on Kawhi, where do you think Kawhi will go?
Man, I hope he comes to L.A., but I think if he wins, man, he might just stay. I think he probably likes it out there. So.
I mean, I'd be shocked if you win a championship and you leave. I mean, especially when the whole city loves him that much, it'd be crazy.
Yeah, and he's the man already. So.
So as for Kyrie, where do you think he's going to end up signing?
I think he might go to the Nets too. That's what I was hearing. I hope he don't come to L.A. because I don't want to say dude be messing up with the chemistry, but he's good. But team wise, I'm not sure how good he is.
I know that's always the other part about him, which is he's so talented, but it's so hard to actually see like what you want out of a player when you know it's going to be side effects to come with them.
Yeah, for sure.
So the last thing we can talk about, I would like to talk a little bit about God and stuff. So how do you say God has helped you the most so far through your basketball career?
Man, obviously he's given me everything, man. This ability to play, allowing me to wake up in the morning and do everything that I love to do. He's given me that chance. So I just gotta pay him back, worship him, and leave my battles to him that I can't control. And I think he's watching over me. He got me. So,
Absolutely. He's always there, and that's the best part about having him.
yep.
Well, it's been great chopping up with you, bro, and I can't wait to see where God brings you throughout the rest of your career. And I can't wait to hope I can catch a couple games this year, but God bless.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. Up next, you guys get to hear a great example of the very first voice message ever done on SchuZ Views. I can't wait to get to it. Stay tuned to see what the question is and how I'm going to answer it.
Hey, this is Landon Schumaker from Arizona. Who do you think is going to win the NBA Finals?
I appreciate you sending in a voice message, Landon. So, answering that, who's going to win the Finals MVP? My opinion is going to be Kevin Durant. Now, of course, it relies on will he play tomorrow night or will he not? Will he sit down? What will it be? If KD comes back, I believe Golden State will erase the 3-1 deficit and win the NBA championship. Plain and simple. And therefore, he will be the NBA Finals MVP. No question about it. If, in fact, KD does not return, I believe Kawhi Leonard will be the Finals MVP because obviously he's someone from Toronto and he's put on a show. He's been the best player in the playoffs besides the performances of KD in the first couple rounds. So, I say it's going to be Kawhi Leonard if they do not win. But I still am firm and believe that Kevin Durant will be back tomorrow night playing against the Toronto Raptors in Toronto and will lead a 3-1 comeback to win the NBA Finals and continue the three-peat, which will then allow him to walk out. But so I'm willing to find out. But yes, so my bet is KD will win Finals MVP. Yes, this was the very first voice message, and I hope to continue to expand this, and I hope that more and more people want to call in and give me a voice message. Remember, all you have to do is go on the Anchor website or download the Anchor app, go to my account, SchuZ Views, and then go hit the button that says voice message. Send it in to me. It can be any question about basketball, D1, it can be about some high school stuff, NBA, whatever it may be. Call it in, say your name, say where you're coming from, whatever you want, ask me the question, even if you want to engage it a little bit, and start talking about why you defend your answer, your statement. Do it. I love to hear from you guys, and I hope I can get more and more as the shows continue to pile up. And I'm truly excited for this new feature from Anchor. Go tune in. I hope everyone can leave me a voice message. Thank you, everyone. NBA coaching update. It's coming right next. You're not going to miss what I have to say. There's some moves that Houston made that, well, actually I should say, haven't made moves yet, but they're trying to do trickery, and I got some bold takes about DaRon Holmes and what's going on up there in Houston. As for Milwaukee, big time signing. Go check out who and what I have to say about that. And Brooklyn continues to have staff members leave, and Memphis is another winner. Go check out what I have to say about that. All coming up next on Coaching Update. Don't miss it. You're going to want to stay tight. So I'm going to start off with something that's done, obvious, and complete, in a job that must have been done. Milwaukee decided to extend the general manager Jon Horst to a 3-year extension, according to Woj. Perfect. I mean, how do you not do that? Great. I don't know the exact money. As GM contracts don't usually get released to the public like that. But, I mean, whatever it is, he's well deserving of it. He just put together an excellent roster, got in guys like Brook Lopez, a great deal, traded great trades for guys like Nikola Mirotic, George Hill, and so on. Absolutely phenomenal job. You guys know I have high praise for Jon Horst and what he's done with Milwaukee. Absolutely been phenomenal. As for Houston, well, folks, I'm not sure what's going on there. I know we know they're going to blow up the roster. I'll get into that later. Supposedly, right? Last week when I talked to you guys, I talked about this. I said they're not doing this extension. It's 1 year and they're probably done. He's fine with it. He's not going to coach any different, right? Well, ESPN then announces that they're nearing a deal with D'Antoni yesterday. Well, think about that now. It's not done yet. It's not even close to being done. And according to his agent, D'Antoni's agent reportedly said it's not even close to being done. So how does this get out? Who's leaking what again? I mean, it does not look like a good situation. And the general manager, Daryl Morey, should have everyone's respect, starting to become a little shaky with me. I'm not understanding this. What's going on now? I mean, to have something where you're blowing up the team get out, you get many different things coming out about your head coaching extension, you're firing everyone. I just don't understand it. Because this is a big offseason for Houston. I said the window closed last year for this in terms of this team when they lost in like 7-game series to Golden State in the conference finals when CP3 got hurt. So now this is big time. Yes, Harden, I think it's hard for me. I don't know. Is Harden the guy that you can still build a team around and win a championship? Maybe. I think so, depending if you have the right pieces around him. But if it's him, the second best player is someone like Chris Paul, which Chris Paul is amazing. He's a first ballot Hall of Fame. He's still an elite point guard. But when he's out so much is the problem. If Chris Paul is healthy 100% of the time or even 90% of the time, all for it. But he's not. So if you can get another guy that's truly healthy and can get buckets for you, someone like Jimmy Butler, someone like Kemba Walker, that's what I want. But I just don't understand this. You got to get D'Antoni done. Unless there's another coach that you see that you know is better. And if that's the case, do it. But Harden's playing his best game ever he's had. He's had his best brand of basketball he's ever played by far in his life, and he's destroying everything. Absolutely phenomenal. And it's good seeing it. He even played great in the playoffs, overall, for himself. So I think you got to extend D'Antoni. I don't know many other options you're thinking about possibly getting T-Lue. Unless you're thinking about getting other guys. But right now, they got to get the extension done or stop letting rumors get leaked out of Houston. Because it's not looking good. Last thing I'm going to talk about. Brooklyn continues to lose pieces over and over again. It's getting annoying, not going to lie. But it shows how great of an organization they are, but I'm not sure why we're not able to retain them. Because this one actually does bother me. And I guess it's probably reasoning, and I don't know exactly. But when you think about this, you got Paolo Pugioni, a guy that came in a former player. Players loved him. He even got into scrimmage with the guys. D'Angelo talked about how much he helped him. Dinwiddie, so on. Theo Pinson, Shabazz Napier, all of them. And there's been an assistant coach guy got promoted, Chris Fleming. I'm not sure why he couldn't take that spot. But he's now a member of the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I couldn't be happier. He's sure going to help whoever they bring in at the point guard, if perhaps maybe D'Angelo Russell, as I talked about before, which I think is a very, very high likely chance. We'll have to see, though. But Prigioni attracting D'Lo, wouldn't be shocked. Because Brooklyn continue to pull down this roster of the super teams. They don't have enough money to retain D'Lo. I think he could go to Minnesota. It's a very high chance. I think it'd be perfect for him. But we'll have to see. Prigioni was a great hire by Minnesota. Ryan Saunders continues to fill out a great staff, and I'm excited to see how this continues to go because Minnesota's making great moves, and I'm super high and I'm praising all that about them as I've talked about. Big time moves from Minnesota, and they've got big time things happening out there. But with that being said, you guys know it. Coaching changes will continue to happen. Front office changes will continue to happen, and I love that. And I will keep you guys up to date every episode, always doing this until it stops. NBA draft is right upon us, and I don't want you guys to miss anything about my takes. I have some big time things to talk about trades, potential about different trading up, injuries, meetings, and so much more. Only here you're going to find what I have to say about it. So stay tuned, because I got you guys covered. NBA draft's coming up, and I'm so excited, folks, so let's get right into it. A couple stuff's going down this week in terms of showing more and more about what could go down. We know Zion Williamson is most likely number 1. But we got more and more secure answer as to Ja Morant going number 2 overall to Memphis Grizzlies as he was in Memphis, visiting with Memphis on Sunday. Big time thing, I think. It's truly, it's going to happen. He will be a starting point guard in Memphis next year, replacing Mike Conley as he gets traded somewhere else. We'll see what goes down. Probably RJ Barrett go number 3, unless New York trades off. But whoever has a third pick in the draft, I believe will end up picking RJ Barrett. I don't see how they don't do that, especially with all the high praise going on right now. One man I did think was going to go number 3 for a little bit was Jarrett Culver. I love Jarrett Culver in his game. He's got a big-time game. I think a lot of people saw it. Now, a lot of people say he wasn't consistent, and I during the playoffs and tournament, I 100% agree. But what I did say, as I said before, he showed his pure clutch gene, and that's something I want to build off of. Well, Suns have the 6th pick in the draft, and they met with Culver and Lubbock to get a good feel about him and his comfort spot is what they said. I think it's going to be a done deal if he stayed there at 6, but my only thing is I don't necessarily know if I like that. There's so many scoring options in terms of Booker, and they got the forwards with Josh, you got Warren that's going to probably remove both of them. You got Mikal Bridges, you've got Kelly Oubre there to re-sign, of course you got DeAndre. You can't do that. They need a point guard. And that's why I think Darius Garland would still be the best fit for them there. Possibly Kobe White would be a good option as well, the guy from North Carolina. He's the guy that reminds me kind of like Kyle Lowry. Not a superstar, but he has a very good high upside and potential. But then I heard something else. Suns reported were open to trading the 6th pick for a veteran. For example, someone like Lonzo Ball, I've said before, Spencer Dinwiddie, Mike Conley. The names continue to grow from there. I like that. But then all of a sudden they were shut down. They said that they were denied and not true. Now, I don't know if that's true because I think that if they can get one of those guys, then they would do it. That's just up to me. But getting a guy like Culver, I'm just not sure that's really what they need. But we will see. Of course, it could be trades that go down. Speaking of that, Atlanta obviously made the big move that I went into depth on in the last episode with Brooklyn, the Torian Prince, Allen Crabbe deal. Well, they reportedly want to keep the 8th pick. They were willing to trade up, and they want to try getting around the range of the Cleveland pick, which is number 5. And here's all the draft picks they do have currently in the draft. They got the 8th, the 10th, the 17th, the 35th, the 41st, and the 44th. That's a lot of picks. That's 6 picks, including 3 in the top 17. That's big time. Now, I think they could do something where they pair up the 10th, the 17th, maybe one of the second rounders, and maybe a player to fill in cap space. Move that up to Cleveland to get the 5th pick or something. Very likely. I mean, Cleveland is really wanting RJ Barrett, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. I'm not sure they're going to do that without getting involved with trading Colin Sexton. I don't think that's an option they should do or even explore. I think him and RJ Barrett would be perfect combo together. We'll have to see, though. I mean, there's going to be a lot of big-time things, but if Atlanta's so sold on the 8th pick in the draft, I think they've got to have something locked in. They've got to be. I mean, they're not going to get Zion from a superstar like that, but I think there's something they're eyeing. Could it be Jackson Hayes, an under-the-radar guy that I really am high on? Maybe. Could it be someone like Bobo? I think that's a big likely. How about Cameron Reddish? That's also likely. Brandon Clark, maybe not to them because they already got John Collins, but I hear Brandon Clark is also rising. We'll have to see. Atlanta's got moves, and I trust them. They made some big-time trades, big-time signings, big-time moves, and drafting. They're excellent, as you saw last year, getting guys like Kevin Huerter, getting, of course, Trae Young. Amari Spellman is not looking too bad. They signed a lot of Jalen Adams as a solid rookie, undrafted rookie last year. Big-time moves. Can't wait to see what they do there. Finally, our first 9 guys that will be in the green room were announced, and that is Zion Williamson, Ja Morant, RJ Barrett, Darius Garland, DeAndre Hunter, Jarrett Culver, Kobe White, Cameron Reddish, and Jackson Hayes. 9 very big-time players. I think you're going to see guys, a couple guys from overseas, like Sudoku. You're going to see guys like Brandon Clark. You're going to see a couple other guys from overseas. I mean, there's going to be some Bobo will probably be in there. We'll see. I mean, they're going to go around the 20 range like usual. They said they're going to add about 11 more. We'll have to see what's up to date there. But I'll keep you guys up to date. Of course, I'm going to keep giving you guys tons of updates in regards to the draft, rookies, all that stuff heading into the draft, which I am so excited for. And you're not going to miss it. So everyone, stay tuned. Kawhi's destroying it in these playoffs and these finals. It's going great. But someone could be showing up. And boy, am I excited. Hear what I have to say, because I got some big-time things to wrap up this episode around with the finals, and I am super excited, and you don't want to miss it. Because there are some things that, just wait. I'm going to leave me to it. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Oh boy, NBA Finals, folks. Toronto's got up 3-1, heading to Toronto. They play Monday. But I think there might be a little bit of an issue here. Let me break something down to you. Before I get into my thoughts, before the last game that was played, they said KD is still not ready to play. He tried doing some stuff and just did not work out. Going to Brian Windhorst. All right, we'll see. Then you hear the report from the Dubs saying that they're confused about the injury in regards to KD. Not sure what that was. Then you hear today, KD is going to practice. He's clear to practice, and he's questionable for the game. Now, his odds are skyrocketed to win Finals MVP, and let me tell you something. I agree. I 100% agree. But you know what? Let me say that for the end. I'm going to keep you guys waiting a little bit. Andre Iguodala said he will be back next year, so that's big-time news. Kawhi's now at his 14th 30-point game, which now ties LeBron for the first all-time, and I believe we got another one in store. But I got to get into it now. Wow. KD might be coming back, and you know what? Crazy enough. I feel like someone predicted that. Now, I remember saying this a long time ago, right when KD went down, I said, KD, I think we saw last game KD play in a Warriors jersey. Wow. That's been pretty much true. And then if you guys remember, I followed that up and said, they might go down 3-0, 3-1. And then you're going to see Kevin Durant all of a sudden get healed up and come play. Crazy. I think I might be right here, folks. And you want to know why? Let me explain something to you. That fight that occurred, the fight with Draymond and KD, yeah, they made up. Yep. All good. But I remember one word, and that was week 1 without you. Well, they did win, but the NBA's got so much deeper because of how elite Golden State has been. And they clearly cannot win without him. Toronto's got their number. But no, Toronto doesn't have. Kawhi's great. But the best player in the NBA is about to walk on that court and he will rip them apart. Kevin Durant is going to show up and say, I'm the best player. And let me tell you something. As I said before, he's going to go for the GOAT talk. Kevin Durant has a chance of becoming the greatest player of all time, and I am not disputing that. He's got a 100% chance to do it. Will he do it? I don't know. I got to get him at least 3, 4, 5 more years before I can put him there. But he has the potential to. He has all the skill and all the ability if he makes the right decisions, and this will be the first step to that. This is something that we're always going to remember LeBron for, winning Cleveland, coming down 3-1. How about this? A super team. Down 3-1, and he brings them back when they all said they couldn't do it. When they said he just joined a super team, Kevin Durant's about to walk on and potentially lead a 3-1 comeback against Toronto, and he will go off. Let me tell you something. He's going to tie LeBron James to 3 championships, and he will become a free agent and head over to Brooklyn, New York, one of those options, and he will be the guy and win multiple championships. With that being said, KD will go on to possibly will be a first-round Hall of Fame. Already locked that in, but he might just be the greatest of all time when it's all said and done. There is big-time things happening, and this will be a storybook ending. Tell you about that. You don't get much better than that. And boy, am I excited. Because I'm going to be honest right now. This finals, I don't want to admit this, but they've not been as fun as I really wanted. Yeah, Kawhi's been putting on a show, don't get me wrong. Never would have thought the time the Warriors finally aren't winning it, would I not be intrigued. But this is not a series. It's 3-1, and you know there's injuries. And yeah, people can still say, well, they still have so much. I saw this thing. They said, well, it sucks for them because they only have they only have an MVP, a Finals MVP, and an All-Star, or 2 All-Stars with Draymond and Boogie. I understand that, but let me go down into depth. Crazy thing now. A team is only built as a team, and that team is a team. They have chemistry. They bond together. Taking anyway a piece, I don't care how good they are. That's going to affect the team. Oh, and by the way, they're all beat up. Clay's beat up. Kevon Looney's beat up. Bogut's old. He hasn't played with the team for much. They don't have the best player in the NBA. Boogie's been beat up. He's only playing 14 minutes a game, and it's not playing well at all. Livingston's old. Iguodala's beat up. So what do you want them to do? It is not really a series. You don't see the team at a peak. On the other hand, they're pretty much all out. Yes, Kawhi's dealing with injuries, but he's playing through it. Besides that, they're pretty much good to go. Yes, there might be bumps and bruises and sore and all that, but it is nowhere in compare. But this finals might just turn up to a whole other level. I think it's going to Game 7. If indeed KD comes back. If he doesn't come back tomorrow night, say goodbye, because Toronto will win it and the Oracle is done. You won't see the next game until they're in San Francisco. But boy, this finals might just turn up, and I will be excited. Because I could not, that would be amazing. If they could get that done, oh boy. You guys got yourself a few more great episodes about these finals. Otherwise, we're talking about the free agency real soon. With that being said, folks, that's what I got to say about the NBA Finals. Stay tuned, because tomorrow night is a big-time game. You're not going to miss it. Well, as always, I'm glad you guys could wait and listen to the end of this, because it's always, a very big fan favorite. It's SchuZ Zone. I'm going to hit up a whole bunch of topics real quick that the media did not hit up enough about, but I am pumped to talk about. So, stay tuned. There's only one way to find out what I have to say, and that's if you guys stay listening. Don't miss it. So there's 2 big-time things that perfectly define what SchuZ Zone is. 2 things that just don't, they kind of go under the radar. In fact, one of these things, the first thing I'm talking about, wasn't even brought up. Now, I'm going to start and end with the 2 big-time things, and then middle, just a bunch of stuff I just want to talk about. Starting out, Jerry West will receive the highest civilian honor, and he will earn the Medal of Freedom. Great. Absolutely phenomenal. Couldn't be happier. But you want to know something? How many people actually listen to this knew about that? Maybe Clipper fans? Honestly, I didn't get an alert about it. I didn't get anything about it. I saw it by looking up to some of the stuff I know, talking to some people I know, and that's how I found out. How does this stuff not get talked about? Tiger Woods one went kind of under the radar. I mean, anyone can disagree or whatever they want about the president and stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about why can't we know the award that the man got? Because Jerry West, Tiger Woods, they don't have anything to do with the political stuff. These are very high honors that I completely give credit to them. Well deserved, and it's amazing to have that happen. But we need props to them. Now, when he officially gets it or whatever, I hope that gets more attention because no one even probably heard that much about Tiger Woods one. But congratulations to Jerry West, the logo. Big time award, big time achievement. Kenyon Martin Jr. Following R.J. Hampton's footsteps, and he's now decommitted from the University of Vanderbilt, and he will pursue pro offers and options. He's a 3-star, so it's not quite the high level as R.J. Hampton, but he still is a big name player. But he's not going to be able to go overseas most likely, and we'll see what he does. But he's not going to go straight to the NBA. He's going to be G League, it will be overseas, we'll see. We'll see what he does. but I think this is going to happen more and more. I wouldn't be shocked to see 1 to 3 more guys that just committed that will now go overseas. Wouldn't be shocked at all. I believe it's going to start happening more and more until the merger happens and you can go straight to the NBA. That's truly my thing. Now, also another thing you probably not have heard a lot about, Bradley Beal, the All-Star. The guy that truly was a phenom, almost brought Washington into the playoffs this past year, had a heck of a year carrying the team. Well, trade talks are now picking up for him. And then most people aren't hearing this, and this one I kind of understand. When you have a generational player like Anthony Davis, yeah, you're not going to be talked about. He's the biggest guy in the trade market by far. Then actually a trade did occur in terms of Taurean Prince and the Brooklyn Nets one, and Alan Crabbe, went down there. Then you got the free agent stuff, you got LeBron and his stuff, you got the finals. It can get hit, I get it. But there's two teams that are truly heavily engaged, and that is one, the LA Lakers. The biggest piece that must occur in terms of, according to Washington and officials there and the people in the front office, that they want Lonzo Ball, which leads them to believe they know John Wall is done, and they're also trying to move John Wall in some way, shape, or form to have Lonzo Ball become the center of the franchise and the point guard, which I truly do love that. Now, a pairing of Lonzo and Bradley Beal would be a perfect pairing. I would love seeing that. But building something around Lonzo Ball there, having Troy Brown Jr. and some other guys and possibly blowing that team up besides them, wouldn't mind seeing that happen. Also, Bradley Beal, as I said, I think he'd cost less. He's not going to cost Ingram and Kuzma along with him and Josh Hart and all that if you get him as opposed to possibly getting an Anthony Davis, which would pretty much destroy your entire roster. The other team I found quite interesting, and I'm very intrigued in this. And that deal is to possibly send Bradley Beal to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, that could either work great or could work not so well. That would be Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, and Paul George, 3 elite scoring guys. That could also make Russell Westbrook truly know that he's not going to be the dominant scorer and he's going to move all around, but we'll see. According to this, what the deal would be like, Steven Adams, Terrence Ferguson, Jeremy Grant, and the next 2 first-round picks that are able to, according to the stipend rule. That's a pretty good deal. I mean, from Washington's standpoint, the picks, yeah, that's good. Ferguson's a good young player. Jeremy Grant's a good young player. Steven Adams, more of a salary balance cap guy. Not sure the impact he'd have. I mean, he'd be a great player, don't get me wrong. But I wouldn't be surprised if they swap and find a third team to do that trade with. I mean, we'll see. But that'd be a great option. Well, it gives Washington much more flexibility in terms of cap room. Potentially, now that also gives them a couple extra draft picks. Potentially try shipping around and moving John Wall, even though he's going to miss the next year. But we'll see. I believe he'll just be staying with the Wizards. So that's what I got to say there. I mean, Bradley Beal is going to be a hot commodity once Anthony Davis stuff. Even, I think he's going to go sneakily underneath the Anthony Davis stuff as that's all going down. I think with David Griffin, there's one mistake David Griffin could possibly make, and that's not getting the Anthony Davis done deal before the draft. Even, I think he needs to get the deal done before any more trades happen. Because the trade just went down and starting to set the market. You want to set the market at the big offseason. You can't keep waiting. Especially you can't wait until after the draft. Because if Bradley Beal goes, then there's Lonzo Ball. It's another trade piece, another guy you like getting off the market. You got to work now and get it done. Now, Dwight Powell has decided he will actually pick up the option after originally declining it, and he will sign an extension in July. I thought that'd be a better option. I wasn't quite sure where he'd go. I mean, he would fit in a lot of teams to be a great backup big man, but Dallas he worked perfectly with. He's been there for a while. Now, next thing. Miami's interested in J.R. Smith trade. I think a lot of people are because if you look at it, you can potentially pair up something, possibly even get a draft pick from them, and get J.R. Smith. You can buy him out and spread his cap out through, I believe, $2 million per year, which is not bad over a 5-year span. We'll have to see what happens there. Also, they're interested in Chris Paul, P.J. Tucker, and Eric Gordon. I really do like that. I mean, Chris Paul would be a perfect move. I said that in the last episode, I believe. Tucker, I'm not sure where that'd come in. They kind of already have James Johnson, so moving him out. Eric Gordon, same thing, but Chris Paul would be a good, solid guy to build your franchise kind of around, get the young guys going, something like that. But all I know is that Miami will look 100% different next year. Dwayne Wade's era is over, and I think they're going to look 100% different. Besides, I think Derrick Jones Jr. is a lock. I think Josh Richardson's almost a lock. Adebayo's for sure a lock. Besides that, it's a lot kind of just up in the air. We'll see. But I think they're going to look 100% different. Pat Riley's going to work, along with Andy Ellsberg, Eric Spoelstra. Everyone's going to work. They're going to make a good-looking team. Good news for Victor Oladipo and Indiana Pacers fans. He is running again, working his way to hopefully be able to play the first game of the season. We'll see. It's still a long way off. But it'd be great to see that happen. That'd be huge. If he can start doing better and better, I think it's going to attract someone else to possibly go to Indiana, such as hence D'Angelo Russell, hence a Ricky Rubio, hence some of these other good players. We'll have to see. Mexico City will once again host two NBA games. They'll have the Mavericks versus Detroit Pistons December 12th and the Suns versus Spurs on December 14th. I love the NBA. They keep expanding. Also, of course, you have the China game. You have your Europe games again. And just keep expanding. It's going to be awesome. Finally, I'm excited to talk about this. You guys saw it happen Sunday. Dejounte Murray, He gave his little brother a car for graduation, graduating high school, being the honor roll. I believe he had a 3.7 or 4.7 or 3.7. Very impressive. And that's what, I mean, when it comes down to it, nothing stronger than a brother's bond. There's nothing much but stronger. Friendships, yeah. But the potential of a two brothers relationship cannot get any higher, and trust me, I know that from experience. It doesn't get much better than that. And that truly shows love and passion. People keep forgetting once again. Spurs have Dejounte Murray. He's a stud. He's a star, and I love the kid. He's got the right heart. He's got the right attitude to truly be something special in this league. And trust me, you're just not going to want to miss it. So always watch out. But that's just a special thing. And that it got quite a big attention. I'm pretty proud of that. But that's the kind of stuff that makes the NBA special. It's what makes athletes special. That's the kind of guys I want kids looking up to. Because at the end of the day, I know this. Rappers, music artists, and athletes are the two biggest things that kids look up to. It's true. Everyone looks up to them. And when you see the bad stuff happening, that's when you see negative stuff and influence on the young kids. But when you see stuff like this, it truly can change stuff in kids and give them a positive outlook and help them do better things. So big props to Dejounte Murray. That's awesome. Keep doing your thing. Keep working. But that's it for SchuZ Zone today, folks. I hope you guys all loved it because the fan favorite SchuZ Zone episode for episode 18 is now in the books, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Wow, episode 18 is now in the books, and boy, is that crazy. It's hard to even think, and even with that being said, the Powerhouse series is almost over. We only have one more episode left after this, which will be with Bret Hart Jr. You're not going to want to miss it before we head into the Harden series. But I just want to thank all my viewers and all my listeners and supporters. Please continue to spread the message of SchuZ Views. I truly do appreciate all the work you guys are doing. Now, if you guys want to stay up to date, to see what I possibly could have in the future in terms of guests, in terms of a new series, in terms of something I'm in the works of making right now, go and follow my Instagram and Twitter. It's the only way to find out. Also, go like my Facebook page at SchuZ Views Zach Schumaker, or my YouTube channel. Go subscribe to it at SchuZ Views Zach Schumaker. Don't forget my Instagram and Twitter is at Zach Schumaker. Don't miss it. Now, also, you can go and subscribe, comment, like, applaud, give a 5-star, whatever it may be, to continue to bring more and more attention to SchuZ Views. I couldn't appreciate it anymore, you guys. Thank you so much. And now for voice messages. I hope you guys all enjoyed the very first one with Landon Schumaker. Now, trust me, anyone and everyone, go and do a voice message right now. Go on Anchor and please go do it. I hope you guys saw that video. I have a video on my story, on my Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is. Go check out how to do it. And I know you guys can all get involved in SchuZ Views, and I love to hear what you guys have to say. And I'll comment and put you guys right on the episode, and you're not going to miss it. It's not that hard. Just go ask a question, 5 to 10 seconds. Go do it right now. Appreciate it all, you guys. Now, with that being said, SchuZ is out. Go be the light, everyone, and God bless.